save some time for some of the other folks on the panel. But yes, I think of institutions.
All right. The name of the game is now one word in a paragraph. One word in a paragraph. That's working. That's working for us.
Good afternoon. I'm Renee McDonald, and my one word would be unity. When I think of family, I think of us uniting as one, taking care of each other and watching over each other.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is.
My one word is self-love.
And a paragraph or a sentence?
Means that we gotta love ourselves before we can love anyone else.
I think of the word powerful. We're powerfully creative. We're powerfully spiritual. And we're powerfully able to make a way out of no way.
I've got to go back to love. And I wanted to talk about love in action because Bell Hooks tells us that Black people have difficulties, not surprisingly, given all that we've been through, with the art and act of loving. So I want to talk about the act of loving and to suggest that, no, just say, there's no trying, to say that love is, in action, is our ability to listen, to observe, to value, and empathize with each other. Those are the action words that make up love.
Hotep family. The one word is identity. I think about family, I think about identity because my grandmother says you have to be who you is and not who you ain't. Because you be who you ain't gonna be nobody.
My word is collaboration. And when I think of family, I think of collaboration. And in fact, there's a family up here that has been responding to disasters of many flavors in our community. And we know that when disasters hit the Black community, they hit it hard, whether it's Hurricane Katrina or Superstorm Sandy or the Flint water crisis or the killing of unarmed Black men and women. So this family up here has been involved in a conversation and collective work to address those disasters and to heal the community.
My word would be togetherness, and is preceded by the word happiness. And in the lyrics of the 70s group Heat Wave, happiness, togetherness, lovingness, foreverness. That's why we're blessed with peacefulness.
You want to sing a few bars? No? All right, now that we've got started, now that we've warmed up the room a little bit without comments, there have been many who have said, including conservative African-American Thomas Sowell out of Stanford, made mention of the fact that the thing that most people assign as the cause for the struggling Black family today, economics, is really not the issue. He says, because after all, after slavery, Black people did well, and then in Reconstruction, not well, but they were doing better then than now based upon the metrics that he used. If he is correct, what would you say is the major concern or the major challenge that Black families are facing? This is equal to all of us, but we'd like to start off by asking Dr. Prim if you would just kind of start us off, if you'd be so kind. Challenge that we're facing.
You just had to start with me. Okay.
You can do an R&B song from the 70s if you'd like.
I would say mental health, and I guess that's a good fit for me as a psychiatrist. The kind of trauma that our communities have been experiencing over the centuries and in recent years, and in the past year or so, it just seems to be compounding. The trauma, no matter where it happens, it seems like we're all feeling it. and it's multi-layered. It just keeps accumulating layer after layer after layer. In a way, I'm glad about it because I think people are more aware of mental health as an important issue than they ever have been before, because in the Black community, we often said that, challenges with mental health were not our problem as Black people. But I think there is the awareness now that we have to pay attention to it, and people are more conscious of the impact of trauma and are beginning to wake up to the fact that we need to heal ourselves, we need to come together, we need to seek resources to do that, and we also need to look within ourselves to be self-caring, and that was mentioned earlier. But I think we need to know more about self-care, how we can prevent some of the trauma that's out there, some of the stress that's out there from hurting us and our children.
Before the next answer, how many of you remember that there was a time in the Black community where you could call me anything? You can call me a junkie, a thief, you can call me a prostitute, a pimp, call me anything except crazy. And we would not go to any kind of mental health, just would not do. How many of you remember those days? I'm glad things have changed. I'm glad things have changed. To the rest of the panel, if you would, what is the challenge facing the Black family? We have mental health.
I would say that the challenge facing us today is the same challenge that has been facing us for 500 plus years. That 500 plus years ago, we, Black people, were cast out of the circle of humanity. And the answer is that we have to fight our way back. We have to reclaim our dignity and our humanity as people of African ancestry and our place in the human family. So we were thrown out by the telling of the lies of Black inferiority and white superiority. That's really what's ailing us. That's what we're seeing in all of its manifestations. That's why it is necessary for policemen to kill Black people, shoot Black people many more times than is necessary to kill any living thing, because we are considered less than human. Until we fight to reclaim our humanity, the disparities will continue, and we'll be here 50 years from now saying the same thing that First Lady Michelle Obama said on the anniversary of Brown versus Board of Education. They were still where we are when Dr. King gave his last speech.
Brother Salim, I saw you.
Yes, sir. I definitely want to echo everything that was previously said, but I also still feel very strong about the concept of institution building, because I believe in our institutions, we learn how to do all of those other things. We have the mechanisms for health. We have the mechanisms for rites of passage programs. We have the mechanisms to teach our young people what they should be doing. And when I had the chance to travel to Ghana this summer with Professor James Smalls, I see him in the back. How you doing, Bob? I got the chance to see the intergenerational continuity in some of the different villages where you had the Queen Mothers or you had the chiefs, and then you had the structure laid out. And so I think that in our community, we don't see many institutions like that anymore. We still have some, but not in the capacity that we need. And I think if we can build those institutions, we address the issues of economic development. We address the issues of our children having people who can care for them that share our value system. And so that's very important for us, and we need to have the economic base to do that.
So we have mental health. We have the need to reclaim our place in the human family. We have the need for healthier institutions.
Address it. The miseducation of our children and the impact it has on incarceration. Since I'm speaking from a criminal justice background, that we know that those we fail to educate, we incarcerate. Third grade test that determines what the prison population, and that we know that 70% of those individuals that go to prison to high school graduation, and then this new thing with the school to prison pipeline. So I believe that we have to pay attention to the education, and I noticed Dr. Pryor talked today about our lack of involvement in our children's education. We don't go to parent-teacher meetings, we don't serve on school boards, so we allow everybody to determine, and that's the reason I say education.
Education, okay. Education, I see someone else moving to the mic.
Yes, and this is not going to be a popular answer, but I'm going to say it. I believe that households have a lot to do with our demise. When I was coming up, I had a mother, and when she wasn't there, I had a grandma.